Admiral Zexathara of the Galactic Defense Coalition stared at the holographic display with mounting horror. The Void Swarm had consumed another 3 systems in the past cycle, their biomechanical monstrosities leaving nothing but empty husks of planets in their wake. Entire civilizations, the crystalline Vorthak, the gas-breathing Nemori, the proud warrior clans of Torgon, all reduced to cosmic dust. "We need soldiers," Zexathara declared to the Emergency Council. "More soldiers than we've ever assembled. Send the call to every member species. Every world must contribute their finest warriors." The responses came swiftly. The Kethran Empire promised 50,000 of their genetically enhanced super soldiers. The Hive Queens of Zirion pledged 1,000,000 drones. The Mechanical Synthesis offered their most advanced combat units. Species after species answered the call with their mightiest armies. Then came humanity's response. "They're sending what?" Counselor Mortek's mandibles clicked in confusion as he read the transmission. 12 individuals, Zexathara repeated slowly. 12 humans. They call them Ghost Protocol. The council chamber erupted in outrage. The insectoid Vex buzzed angrily. The amphibious Grell croaked their disapproval. Even the usually calm plant beings of Verdania rustled their leaves in agitation. "This is an insult," roared General Karthok, his forearms gesturing wildly. "We ask for armies and they send a dozen primitives." Zexathara had shared the sentiment initially. Humanity was one of the newer species in the Coalition, barely a century since first contact. They possessed no energy weapons, no gravity manipulation, no psionic abilities. Their technology was crude, their biology unremarkable. What could 12 humans possibly accomplish against the infinite horror of the Void Swarm? The answer came 3 weeks later. "Sir?" Communications Officer Yolandra's voice trembled as she addressed the bridge crew of the Coalition flagship. "We're receiving reports from the Nexus Prime system." "What kind of reports?" Zexathara asked, though something in her tone made his stomach sink. "The Void Swarm. They're retreating, sir. All of them. They've abandoned the system entirely." The Admiral's head snapped up. "Impossible. The Swarm has never retreated from anything." "Sir, there's more. Long-range sensors are detecting similar patterns in 6 other systems. Wherever the human Ghost Protocol team has been deployed, the Void Swarm simply disappears." Zexathara ordered an immediate investigation. What they discovered defied everything they thought they knew about warfare. The humans didn't fight like soldiers. They didn't charge into battle with energy rifles blazing, or command massive fleets in glorious combat. Instead, they had become something far more terrifying. They had become invisible. Captain Sarah Chen crouched in the ventilation shaft of a Void Swarm bioship, her movements silent as death itself. Her enhanced suit, crude by galactic standards but effective, masked her heat signature and absorbed electromagnetic emissions. To the Swarm's sensors, she simply didn't exist. Around her, the ship pulsed with organic machinery, a living nightmare of flesh and metal. The Swarm's strategy was always the same: overwhelm through sheer numbers, consume everything, adapt and grow stronger. They had conquered countless civilizations using this approach. They had never encountered humans before. Chen's target lay ahead, the Nexus node, the brain center that coordinated this particular cluster of bioships. Take it out, and 50,000 enemy vessels would become mindless drifting hulks. But the node was protected by layers of security, surrounded by hunter organisms that could detect the slightest disturbance. She smiled grimly and activated her weapon. Not an energy cannon or plasma rifle, but something uniquely human. A ceramic blade, monomolecular edge completely undetectable to the Swarm's biosensors. Combined with her knowledge of anatomy, something humans had perfected through millennia of studying living things, she could kill any creature in the galaxy with surgical precision. The hunter organisms never saw her coming. 12 hours later, the entire Swarm cluster was floating dead in space. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, Sergeant Marcus Webb watched through his scope as a Void Swarm Queen, a creature the size of a small moon, prepared to spawn a new generation of warriors. The Coalition had tried to stop these spawning events before, usually requiring the sacrifice of entire fleets. Webb adjusted his rifle, a primitive projectile weapon that the galaxy had dismissed as obsolete. But there was something the galaxy didn't understand about human weapons. They weren't designed just to kill. They were designed to kill quietly, efficiently, and from impossibly long distances. The bullet traveled for 37 minutes across the vacuum of space before finding its target, a specific neural cluster, vulnerable for exactly 2.3 seconds during the spawning process. The Queen died instantly, taking with her the potential for 10 billion swarm warriors. Across the galaxy, similar scenarios played out. Humans infiltrating swarm command ships and turning their own bioweapons against them. Humans studying swarm behavioral patterns and predicting their movements with uncanny accuracy. Humans disappearing into asteroid fields and emerging weeks later, having eliminated entire swarm broods. They're not soldiers, Admiral Zexathera realized as he studied the tactical reports. They're predators. Apex predators. His aide, a young Kethran officer named Veltar, looked confused. Sir? Look at their homeworld's history, Veltar. They didn't evolve to be soldiers, they evolved to be hunters. Persistence hunters. They would track prey for days, weeks if necessary. They studied their targets, learned their weaknesses, struck at precisely the right moment. On a planet full of predators, they became the ultimate predator. The revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Other species had evolved to be stronger, faster, more technologically advanced. But humanity had evolved to kill efficiently, quietly, and with terrifying patience. Within 6 months, the Void Swarm, a threat that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries, had completely vanished from Coalition space. Not defeated in glorious battle, but systematically eliminated by 12 humans who treated interstellar warfare like a hunting expedition. The galaxy had asked for soldiers to fight monsters. Instead, humanity had sent monsters to hunt monsters. And in the cold vacuum of space, that made all the difference.